Part 81. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 801. Chapter 801 The Vixen Who Conquered the Country. When a letter regarding Lee Moer's identity information arrived at Sidhu Yan's villa, only Lee Moer saw it. She immediately opened it and looked through it, her face turned pale with fright. Lee Moer quickly took the letter away. She was now convinced that Ye Wei had recognized her identity. Lee Moer took the information back to the villa and destroyed it directly. But then she became restless. She didn't know what Ye Wei meant, and she didn't know whether her identity would be exposed to Sidhu Yan. Sidhu Yan is her only support now, she must not lose him. But she seems to be unable to do anything now. Ye Wei is the kind of person who always takes revenge. Even if she knelt down and begged, Ye Yi would not let her go. Lee Moer knew this a long time ago. Because she always felt that she and Ye Wei were similar in a certain place, so she wanted to replace Ye Wei's identity and prove her independent existence. But because Yezikin was with Ye Wei, she suffered a series of defeats and was eventually sent to prison. The irreconcilable hatred blinded Lee Moer's eyes. She was thinking about revenge and protecting her own life. How to do. Last time there was Li Cheng as the scapegoat, now she can only rely on Sidhu Yan. But Lee Moer wasn't sure how much weight she had in Sidhu Yan's heart. After all, she used routines to set up Sidhu Yan. Including the night she was with Sidhu Yan, she deliberately cut her fingers and used blood to cover up that she wasn't. First time fact. Her first time was long gone in prison. Thinking of the suffering he had suffered, Lee Moer's hatred for Ye Wei and Yezikin deepened. She was waiting anxiously for Sidhu Yan to come home. Unexpectedly, the person she was waiting for was not Sidhu Yan, but Sidhu Yan's mother. Sidhu Yan's mother was even more arrogant than Sidhu Xiao. After coming in, she didn't even use taunts, she just told Lee Moer to pack up her things and get out. Lee Moer cried and pretended to be weak, which annoyed Mrs. Sidhu even more. I thought you were such a charming vixen, but you turned out to be a malnourished ordinary girl. I really don't know what your ability is to seduce my son not to come home. When Mrs. Sidhu pointed at her nose and scolded her, Lee Moer finally knew the reason. Sidhu Yan used to go home often, but since he got together with her, he would come to the villa to do harmonious exercises with her almost every night. Lee Moer has no concept of family in her heart. She only thinks that using her body to keep Sidhu Yan is a means, but she does not expect that Mrs. Sidhu will come to settle accounts with her. Lee Moer hid in fear, and Mrs. Sidhu directly ordered the people behind her to throw Lee Moer's things out. Lee Moer wanted to call Sidhu Yan quietly, but hung up when the number was dialed. After the things were thrown out, Lee Moer also obeyed Mrs. Sidhu's wishes and left the villa. When Sidhu Yan came back, he saw his mother sitting there haughtily and losing her temper, as if she had made a special trip to wait for him to come back. Besides, Lee Moer didn't really go far after coming out of the villa, but quietly hid nearby, waiting for Sidhu Yan to send Mrs. Sidhu away before she went back. At that time, Sidhu Yan would definitely feel more sorry for her. Lee Moer made a good calculation and squatted outside the villa. Why? Suddenly, someone touched her shoulder. Lee Moer turned around reflexively and was punched and knocked unconscious. Please accept the revenge from the Yandere. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 802. Chapter 802, The Revenge of the Yandere, 1, Super Burning Chapter. Lee Moer was woken up by someone splashing water on her. Lee Moer, long time no see. The scene in the dream really became reality. Lee Moer struggled to open her eyes and saw Ye Wei raising her hand and smiling at her. Lee Moer was about to step back, only to find that her hands and feet were tied to the pillar. She had nowhere to escape. Why are you so afraid? I remember you are very courageous. Ye Wei. What do you want to do? Let me go, Li Mo'er kept struggling, but the more she struggled, the more painful the rope tightened around her body. Yewei shook his head gently in front of her. "Oh, I don't even know what you are resisting. Why don't you just accept your fate? Let me go, brother Yan will come to save me." "Oh, your brother Yan." Yewei held her chin with one hand and thought in front of Li Mo'er. After about 10 seconds, she sighed regretfully, "Your brother Yan is indeed sending people are looking for you. Humph, so you'd better let me go quickly, otherwise I won't let you go after I'm saved." "Oh, I'm so scared after you've said this, do I still dare to let you be saved? It would be better to kill and silence all of you." "You." Li Mo'er knew that he had made a mistake and did not dare to provoke Yewei. Yewei's appearance now is really extreme compared to usual. Who would believe that a gentle and kind-hearted woman would tie people up and say such sinful words? "Let me think about what gifts you gave me after you were released from prison. I don't like being in debt to others, so I have to pay you back properly." "I don't know what you are talking about, Yewei, please let me go." "Don't be anxious, I was told to think about it carefully. It's your hands in the flower shop, right?" "No. It has nothing to do with me," Li Mo'er retorted without hesitation, "but wasn't this the only way to stay up all night? I saw Yewei picking up a bouquet of flowers from the side. They were delicate roses, both pink roses and red roses." She raised the bouquet of flowers to the tip of her nose, revealing half of her face. Her delicate and picturesque eyebrows were so charming that she was really more delicate than flowers. But Li Mo'er had no intention of appreciating Yewei's beauty. She only knew that Yewei's revenge had begun. Yewei held the flowers in front of her and asked her, "Mo'er, do you think these roses look good?" Li Mo'er called her Yewei, and she called Li Mo'er Mo'er because both of them had grudges in the past and did not dare to forget them for a moment. Li Mo'er gasped and did not dare to answer casually. She felt that Yewei at this moment was like a demon in the appearance of an angel. If she was slightly unhappy, she might be dragged to hell. But how could the devil play his cards according to common sense? Li Mo'er's silence made Yewei very unhappy. Yewei frowned and asked, "There are only two of us here, why don't you answer me? Are you scared?" Li Mo'er lowered his head and gasped, "Yewei, please let me go. Let's wipe out the past grudges." K's only response to her was to shake her head. "No, I found you with great difficulty. What on earth do you want? I will give you the gift you gave me in return." After saying this, Yewei handed over the flowers in his hand. Li Mo'er didn't open her mouth, her nose was stuffed and she couldn't breathe. Kaya held the flower stubbornly and did not move it away. "This is a gift for you." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 803. Chapter 803, The Revenge of the Yandere, 2, Super Burning. Li Mo'er couldn't hold her breath after all and inhaled the pollen. Yewei threw away the flowers with satisfaction and picked up a glass of water from the side. "This is the second gift." "The second gift?" Li Mo'er thought that the second time he designed Yewei was to pour acid on her in the orphanage. Li Mo'er looked at the glass of water in fear, shaking her head repeatedly, "No, no, please." Li Mo'er was extremely frightened when she thought about how corrosive sulfuric acid was. She could no longer care about her arrogance in the face of the enemy. She shook her head and begged for mercy, only I was wrong. Please let me go. I will never dare to do it again." Keep begging for mercy, even if it means giving up your dignity. Because she really doesn't want her appearance to be ruined. But, how can a demon know how to feel sorry for his enemy? Yewei seemed not to understand Li Mo'er's reaction to begging for mercy at this moment. She asked like a curious student, Why do you ask for it from me? Is it because I didn't ask for you before, so you attacked me so cruelly? Lemur cried and shook his head to admit his mistake. No, no, I was blinded by hatred before, and it was my fault. It's all my fault. Please, let me go. What he said was better than what he sang. He was so pitiful that ordinary people would probably feel sympathy. But Lemur's mistake lies in. The only thing about Ye is that he is not an ordinary person. Her mind was twisted when she was a child. I will not offend others unless they offend me. If someone offends me, I will pay them back. So, she took out a glass stick, stirred it in the water, and touched it slightly on the back of Lemur's hand. I don't know whether it was the effect of the water or Lemur's inner reasons, but she started screaming loudly as soon as she touched her. Ye Wei shook her head helplessly, so weak. At that time, she had to wash her hands after having sulfuric acid thrown on her. The pain was such that she had to go to the hospital for treatment. Don't be afraid. Although there is so much water, I only need to use a little. Ye Wei took a special suction head to out the water and held Lemur's fingers with his gloved hand. Lemur couldn't resist and could only watch Ye Wei earnestly drip the contents of the suction tip onto the back of her hand. The burning sensation spread instantly, causing Lemur to burst into tears. The only fear in the night is to see one's own masterpiece without thinking. Lemur, who was crying bitterly, gritted his teeth and said fiercely, "You are a devil." Ye Wei nodded, as if he was deeply convinced. "Well, I am the devil, but you provoked the devil." Lemur felt that if the night was allowed to go on alone, she would probably die here. At that moment, Ye Wei seemed to see through her thoughts and told her clearly, "Don't worry, I will let you live well." Her tone of voice became gentler, and the smile on her face remained sweet. Lemur already felt that her face was itching, and she couldn't scratch it even if she wanted to. Ye Wei thoughtfully held up a small mirror so that she could see her face clearly. Lemur fainted from the pain when she saw red spots all over her face and heat and pain in her hands. Ye Wei took off his gloves and clapped his hands, and said tisk twice in disgust, "It's so scary." Soon, another doctor in a white coat came in to treat Lemur's wound. Mr. Ye is already looking for you." "Okay, remember to take good care of her for me, treat her well." "Yes." "Don't let him know." "Yes." This chapter and the previous one are so cool to write. Kaibayo guys, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I like these two chapters so much. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 804. Chapter 804, Childhood Sweethearts Grow Old. The only place where Lemur was being held at night was left, and it turned out to be an ordinary building. She only brought a few people, and Yezikin didn't know. Yezikin just returned to S City and is now back. They were supposed to return to Mo's house at the same time, so Yezikin was waiting for her outside. The only one who dared to rush back in the night saw that familiar figure 10 meters away, so he quickened his pace and ran into his arms, wrapping his hands tightly around his waist. "Brother, you have been gone for a day. Well, did you miss me?" "I really want to." Ye Wei always likes to stick to him, and now that we are meeting him after a day apart, of course it will take a while to get tired of him. It's strange that they have known each other for so long, but no one feels bored with each other. It seems that every day is new, maybe, every day has more love than the previous day. "Ah, by the way, brother, I think I can tell everyone when I go back this time that I am still an innocent young girl. Have you caught someone?" "Of course, I'm so smart, I will never let the fish that enters the fishing net slip away." She was very happy when she accomplished something, and her clever look was full of energy, which she had never shown in front of others. Only he can see it. Facing Ye Wei like this, how could Yezikin not be so weak? Looks like you don't need my help anymore. Well, I just planned to tell my brother that I will handle this matter. Brother, you can just treat your illness with peace of mind. When the time is up, we will resolve everything and return to City S. I feel sorry for you. It was because I wanted to accompany him that I stayed here, facing the strange Mo family. Ye Wei snorted with a long and lingering sound, as if he was coquettishly speaking. It's not a grievance. The happiest thing is to be with Yezikin. Ye Wei lowered his head and kissed her forehead, then took her hand, and the two of them returned to Mo's house with their fingers intertwined. The twins were lying on the second floor. Seeing the sweet look of the two of them, they were immediately elated and looked intoxicated. I'm so envious. I'm so envious. What a beautiful feeling. What a beautiful love. Twins each say a sentence and echo the others. Amoru, it would be great if I could also find my other half. Amoru Oksu, where is my future husband? These two people are like living treasures. Listening to them talk makes me feel very happy. The only ant came at night, and the ant who cleaned the toilet discovered the clues. This matter reached the ears of old MRSMO, and old MRSMO understood it clearly. Actually, she probably knew that Yezikin was not pregnant, but MRSMO was very thoughtful and could not expose Yezikin and Yezikin. Old MRSMO asked people to quietly spread the news that Ye Wei is not pregnant, and everyone knew that they had made a big mistake. The most unacceptable thing was the twins. I went to Ye Wei personally and asked, second sister-in-law, didn't you go to the hospital for a prenatal checkup? Ye Wei denied, I just went to check my body. How could I know that you were thinking wrongly? The twins couldn't believe it. Ye Wei asked back, when did I personally say that I was pregnant? The twins shook their heads and were confused. Mo Feng and An Ruan were also very happy to know that Ye Wei was not pregnant. However, things in the Mo family had just calmed down, but Sidu Yan was coming to prevent them from living in peace. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 805. Chapter 805. The Gentle and Kind-Hearted, Devil. My girlfriend, Xiaomo, is missing. Come on. Sidu Yan ran to Mo's house to find his girlfriend. Sidu Yan came to Mo Feng and Ye Wei to help find people. Xiao Mo disappeared last night. She couldn't remember anything due to amnesia, and now she can't be found. I'm really worried about her having an accident. The family scandal should not be made public, but Sidu Yan had no other choice. Because after Li Mo disappeared, Sidu Yan couldn't get through the phone and couldn't find anyone. He couldn't contact her no matter what. The power of the Sidu family should not be underestimated, but Mrs. Sidu turned a deaf ear to Mr. Sidu, who was the master of the family, thereby limiting Sidu Yan's power. Sidu Yan now only has some of his loyal subordinates looking for someone, but he is too worried about Xiao Mo, so he has to ask his friends for help. He knew that Mo Feng would definitely agree, there was almost no suspense about it. As for finding Ye Wei, it was because he knew that Yezikin himself was very powerful, and it would be best if there was one more person to help him. Yan, don't worry, I'll help you find it for your brother. I'll send someone to help you find him right away, Mo Feng assured him by patting his chest, and immediately arranged for someone to go. When it came to Ye Wei's side, Sidu Yan was still a little unable to hold it. He asked in a nice tone, and Ye Wei nodded in agreement, don't worry, I will try my best to help. Ye Wei made a phone call and arranged for someone to go find Xiaomo. During the time when he was lying down, Ye Wei chatted with Sidu Yan for a few words. It seems that Mr. Yan likes that girlfriend named Xiaomo very much. Sidu Yan didn't know how to describe his feelings for Xiaomo. At first he felt fresh, but when the little woman who relied on him at all times really heard from him, he felt lost in his heart and wanted to find her back to fill the empty feeling in his heart. Sidu Yan was silent for a while and said, I really like her. When Ye Wei heard this promise, his expression remained unchanged, and he just told Situ Yan, "Don't worry, kind people will naturally be blessed by God and be safe." Her words are gentle and have a special soothing effect. Situ Yan felt that the irritable mood in his heart gradually calmed down due to her influence. Facing such a gentle and kind girl, he could only try his best to hide his negative emotions, fearing that the pure white paper would be stained, even at all. Situ Yan did not stay at the Mo family for long before leaving. He said he would continue to look for people. As the host, Ye Wei politely walked him to the door. Until she saw Situ Yan's car leaving, the smile in her eyes disappeared little by little. She returned to the room to tidy up, and when she was about to go out, the twins called out, "Second sister-in-law, are you going out?" She smiled softly and said, "Yes, my friend asked me to do something for him, and I want to help him." The twins followed excitedly, "Second sister-in-law, take us with you." Seeing their hopeful eyes, Ye Wei shook his head, "I promised others to keep it a secret, so I can't tell you." Okay, the twins roughly knew it was because of Situ Yan, because when they asked Mo Feng just now, Mo Feng also answered the same way. In this way, Ye Wei left the Mo family alone. She drove by herself and turned several roads before driving to an ordinary building. After confirming that no one was following, someone came out to respond. "Miss, come in quickly." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 806. Chapter 806. She is quite perverted. The only night I walked into the cold and dark basement, I felt that it was completely different from the hot weather outside. People here can't see the sun, and even drink water, they have to rely on charity. However, she likes this dark place very much. I feel very excited because I can do many things. Seeing the dark iron door, Ye Wei walked in alone. The doctor in a white coat looked out of place here. He had just applied medicine to Li Mo'er. "Get out." When the doctor saw Ye Wei coming, he packed up his things and left without saying a word. Li Mo'er, who had just woken up, saw Ye Wei and immediately closed his eyes. He really wished he had never woken up. Ye Wei did not expose her little tricks. He walked up to her calmly and greeted her in a soft voice, "Hello, are you okay?" The relaxed and cheerful tone is as natural as greeting a friend rather than talking to an enemy. Ye Wei was able to do it so naturally because she was used to pretending. No, in other words, she is not disguising, but just another side of her real personality. No matter how Ye Wei asked, Li Mo'er didn't say anything. Ye Wei muttered a few words to herself but received no response, and she felt a little bored. "It's really boring when I talk alone, why don't you stay with me?" Li Mo'er gritted her teeth tightly so that she could control her desire to curse. Li Mo'er kept warning herself in her heart, "Don't be angry, don't anger Ye Wei, Ye Wei is the devil." Perhaps it was a psychological effect, but she felt like a mute, unable to speak. Ye Wei had no choice but to break the news to her, "Today your brother Yan went to Mo's house to ask me for someone." Li Mo'er's eyes widened as soon as he heard Situ Yan, "Brother Yan came to find me. Brother Yan knows that you kidnapped me. Brother Yan came to save me, right?" Li Mo'er was so happy that he forgot everything. I saw Ye Wei raised her index finger and waved her hand, "No." She kindly told Ye Wei, "Your brother Yan asked me to help find you." When Li Mo'er heard this, he always felt a lot of expectations in his heart, so he said, "Ye Wei, you send me back, I promise not to mention this matter to anyone, and we will wipe out all the past grudges. Don't worry, I promised Situ Yan that I would work hard to help find you, and I will definitely not break my promise." That's what Ye Zi said. Li Mo'er felt that the night was not simple, so he read the previous sentence carefully in his mind. He was trying to help find it. But he didn't say that he would definitely hand her over to Sidu Yan. Limor felt that she was being favored and felt resentful in her heart. Ye Wei, what do you want? You have already tortured me. How about we talk about a deal? After I go out, I can ask Sidu Yan to give you many benefits. Let's make peace. Limor's behavior is just like the sweet candy given to children after a quarrel, childish. Ye Wei would not take this proposal to heart at all. I'm not here to make peace with you today. Then what do you want to do? I'm here, to give you a third gift in return. Hearing this, Limor's originally pale face turned ashen. The third gift is, planning to hit her with a car? Yes, only plan was to kill Sidu Yan before she found her? Looking through these chapters, I feel inexplicably happy. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 807. Chapter 807 Living in Prison. Ye Wei put on his gloves and took Limor out. Limor wanted to take the opportunity to refute, but her strength was not as strong as Ye Wei's, and her body was getting weaker and weaker. Limor noticed something was wrong with her body. Ye Wei, did you drug me? Well, I didn't want to either, but I was afraid that you would struggle as a weak woman. I really can't fight you, so I had to let you lose part of your strength. Hearing Ye Wei's high-sounding words, Limor really wanted to spit out a mouthful of blood. A weak woman? How is she weak? How shameless! But he could only curse in his heart. Limor had to beg for mercy on his face. Yi, I really know I was wrong. Please let me go. Not good. But no matter how much Limor cried or begged, it did not shake Ye Wei's determination even one bit. The only night he brought her into was a very empty place, similar to a warehouse. There is nothing good inside, just a motorcycle in the corner. When Limor saw the motorcycle, he was so sad that he wanted to cry. Why did you bring me here? I did retaliate against you with roses and sulfuric acid, but you have ruined my face and hands. What else are you going to do? Did you forget the third gift you gave me? Limor shook his head desperately, refusing to admit it no matter what. I don't know at all. I admit that I hurt you, but only when I was in S City, and those little tricks didn't hurt you at all. Wrong, if it weren't for Guchensi's medicine, my face would be ruined. If I didn't react in time at the orphanage, my hands would be ruined, Ye Wei said, suddenly taking off his gloves and reaching out to Limor. At this time, Limor could see clearly that there was a shallow scar on the side of Ye Wei's palm. It was usually invisible, but that scar was real and represented Limor's past sins. Limor's words were stuck in his throat and he couldn't make a sound. She only knew that Ye Wei was convinced that she had sent someone to do the motorcycle thing. Ye Wei pushed her to the ground, and Limor, who was bound by the rope, could not escape. Soon, Ye Wei opened a projection screen, and a voice came out, waiting for Ye Yu's instructions. Bring Li Cheng up. Ye Wei said something calmly, as if I wanted to eat. Soon, an embarrassed Li Cheng appeared in the projection image. Ye Wei saw him, and Limor also saw him. Ye Wei allowed Limor to see clearly. How about it? Do you know this person? Limor remained silent. Ye Wei answered for her, his name is Li Cheng. That has nothing to do with me. Limor was still stubborn. Ye Wei kindly told her and Li Cheng's story. You were in prison, and you were having in secret while you were working in the prison to reduce your sentence. Limor was panicked. I don't know what you are talking about. I don't understand. Please put the things away. I don't know Li Cheng. Ye Wei clicked his tongue twice, unraveling Limor's nightmare bit by bit. And at that time, you were pregnant in prison. Limor was lying on the ground, curled up, trying to cover her ears but couldn't move, so she could only yell, "Stop talking! Stop talking!" Are you afraid? Why are you afraid? Didn't you kill that child too cruelly? I'm not, I didn't. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 808. Chapter 808. Even bad people are sincere. If you dare to do it, why don't you dare to admit it? You don't know how to cherish that child, why are you still in such pain? Yeah, I really didn't sympathize with this woman at all. Because Li Mo'er once hung out with Li Cheng in prison and deceived Li Cheng into making money for her after he came out. But she used Li Cheng to take revenge on herself. Even after Li Cheng was arrested, Li Mo'er hid in the arms of other men. Li Mo'er, however, never asked Li Cheng a word from the beginning to the end, and even denied that she had ever known him. Li Mo'er, do you dare to say that Li Cheng is not your man? No. No. I only have one man, Brother Yan, only Brother Yan. No one. Li Mo'er was unwilling to mention the embarrassing past in prison, and completely denied Li Cheng, who was dedicated to himself. Ye Wei was very satisfied with her answer. Ye Wei turned off the image, and the door to this room was quickly opened. Li Cheng was brought in. Compared to Li Mo'er, Li Cheng is much better. Good acquaintances must have a lot to say when they meet, so you can talk about it. Ye kindly left, leaving enough space for the two of them. Li Cheng's whole body was not restrained, but Li Mo'er's hands and feet were tied into a hairy head. Li Mo'er was rolling on the ground in fear. If Li Cheng attacked her, she would definitely die here. Because Li Cheng is the kind of person who doesn't care about his life. Li Mo'er is a drama queen. Akin, please listen to my explanation. What I said to Ye Wei just now was all deliberately deceiving her. Otherwise, she will kill both of us in one go. Li Cheng smiled bitterly, but now, aren't we all in her hands? That's different. She and I are dead teammates. How could I admit defeat in front of her? When Li Mo'er was so overwhelmed by hatred, he even forgot that he was pretending. Li Cheng stretched out his rough hands to touch Li Mo'er's face, but when he saw that her face was covered with red marks, he retracted his hand. It's not because of fear, but because I don't want to hurt her again. Li Cheng lowered his head and said, I have known for a long time that you are a snake and scorpion, but I am willing to be used by you, and now you are unwilling to tell me the truth. Li Mo'er stared at Li Cheng in shock, never expecting that Li Cheng would behave like this. There was no anger or beating as expected, but helplessness and heartache. Did she see it wrong? A man who is not afraid of death who comes out of prison will have such an attitude towards a woman who deceives and uses him. Li Mo'er couldn't believe it. But Li Cheng really did this. Li Cheng raised his hands, and you could see the thick calluses and some scars on them. Li Cheng said, Look, these are the traces left behind after being released from prison for 2 years. Li Mo'er trembled at the corner of his mouth. Why? Because of you. Because when you were in prison, you once said that you hoped to live with me after you came out. It doesn't matter if you are ordinary. After you were released from prison, I never told you about the hardships I have endured in the past 2 years, just because I was afraid that you would worry, but now that I think about it, I am redundant. Li Cheng seemed to be lost in memories. I have no knowledge or talent. I can only make a living by moving bricks and doing odd jobs on construction sites. I don't get much salary, but I saved my experience just for you. Li Cheng approached Li Mo'er, and Li Mo'er reflexively wanted to hide, but felt that Li Cheng was untying his rope. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 809. Chapter 809. Killed with a gun. Li Cheng pressed against Li Mo'er, as if he was anxious to be with her. Li Mo'er's clothes were untied, exposing her shoulders. Ye Wei, who was looking at the camera, looked away and said, "Turn it off." Li Cheng whispered in Li Moer's ear, "I'll untie you and wait and see what happens." To act by ear, that is, to wait for someone to come and then run away. Li Moer had no time to be moved, and his heart almost rose to his throat. Li Cheng took a lot of effort to remove the rope from Li Moer's body. I don't know whether Ye Wei intentionally or unintentionally allowed them to stay alone for half an hour. Half an hour later, they heard the door open. Li Cheng and Li Moer looked at each other, and at the same time they were alert. When I heard someone outside calling Miss, I knew it was Ye Wei who was here. Seeing Ye Wei walking over, Li Cheng also stood up. When no one was paying attention, Li Cheng rushed towards Ye Wei and successfully captured Ye Wei. The strange thing is that there are no other gatekeepers outside. But at the critical moment, there was no time to think too much. Run. As soon as Li Cheng said something, Li Mo ran away. At this moment, a group of people wearing police uniforms surrounded them. Seeing that the situation was not good, Li Cheng panicked and was attacked by Ye Wei with a backhand. Ye was the only one to escape, and Li Cheng started to jump out of the window. Li Mo looked at everything in a panic, and suddenly grabbed the gun of the policeman next to him. She picked up the gun, pointed it at Li Cheng, and shot out with a bang. Li Cheng's body gradually fell down, and his last glance was towards Li Mo. Li Mo sat down on the ground, his eyes dull. Ye Zhi was carried back by Ye Zikan. Those policemen watched helplessly as the arrogant and dignified man with a stern and indifferent face walked through the crowd and took the frightened Ye Wei away from the crowd. But Sidu Yan ran over in a hurry, and Li Mo threw herself into his arms and cried loudly. The frightened Ye Wei and Li Mo were taken back and made some confessions. The whole incident is explained as Li Cheng is perverted and harmful to others. Ye Wei said that he was entrusted by someone to find Li Mo, but he didn't expect that he almost lost the money. At that time, many people were sweating when they saw the scene where the gangster Li Cheng was escorting Ye Yi. Especially when they saw the beauty's pale and weak face, everyone felt heartbroken. Li Mo heard Ye Wei's words and pinched her thigh tightly with her fingers. Her face and hands were semi-disfigured, completely the only size of baby. But she couldn't say a wrong word at this time. Yes, I suddenly fainted outside that day. When I woke up, why did that pervert ruin my face and pour sulfuric acid on my hands? Ah! Li Mo showed the victim's fear. It is almost impossible to say the next words. The police had little doubt about what they said. The house was empty because it was rumored to be haunted. There was nothing else in it except some criminal tools and eaten garbage instant noodles. All evidence points to Li Cheng, and Li Cheng is still in the hospital for rescue. What if that person dies? I didn't mean it, I really didn't mean it. I'm just scared, I just want to save her. Li Mo trembled and said that she was scared, letting everyone know that she only used the gun to kill people to save Ye Wei. Now, let's wait for Li Cheng's results. The drama queen herself. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 810. Chapter 810. Why don't you cherish yourself? Ye Wei sat by the window, looking at the moonlight outside the window, her lips pale and weak. Did I do something wrong? When everything returned to calm, her heart was filled with turmoil, and she could not calm down for a long time. The announcement of Li Cheng's death was like a warning bell in her ears. She had already planned to ask Sidu Yan to bring the police to arrest the person, because she knew that Li Mo did not dare to tell the truth unless she wanted to destroy herself. She never thought about asking Li Mo to pay for her life, let alone letting Li Cheng die. She just wanted Li Mo to be frightened so that he would not dare to appear in front of her for the rest of his life. But tragedies are often accompanied by accidents. Ye Wei did not expect that Li Mo was so cruel that he snatched the policeman next to him and hit Li Cheng. Li Cheng's life was not saved in the end. In the end, he could only take advantage of the situation and label Li Cheng as a gangster, which was also considered responsible for his crime of trying to hit her to death with his motorcycle. However, Ye Weiwei still felt empty in her heart. She took revenge on her enemy and made Li Mo afraid of her forever. But there was no joy in her heart. Just like now, the man she likes, Yezikin, is sitting across from her, looking at her with cold eyes as if she is trapped in a nightmare, but he does not give her any warmth. Yezikin couldn't come over, and Ye Weiwei didn't dare to go either. The two of them were in a stalemate like this until Ye Weiwei slowly closed his eyes. Not long after, Yezikin couldn't help but walked over from the other side, picked her up and put her on the bedside, and draped the thin blanket on her body. All these actions are done very carefully. Just when his gentle big hands were about to leave, Ye Weiwei suddenly opened his eyes, and his fingers tightly held Yezikin's hand. "Elder brother." Yezikin did not answer, but cruelly brushed her hand away. Ye Weiwei's voice moved, unwilling to give in. She still lowered her head without hesitation. "I was wrong." Yezikin told her expressionlessly, "You never know you are wrong. I should tell you this in advance. You think this is what I care about." The only thing left in the night was speechless. Having been together for so many years, if she still can't read Yezikin's mind, her life will be in vain. Yezikin was blaming her for taking his own safety as a bet. Although she was sure that there was nothing dangerous about Li Cheng and that she could counterattack Li Cheng, she still put herself in danger. This is why Yezikin is really angry. "I'm angry that she doesn't know how to take good care of herself. They are not worth risking yourself at all. I acted to ensure my own safety. Xiao Li, do you think you are powerful because you have abilities that surpass ordinary people in your life? Do you think you can escape safely from any gangster? Do you think you..." Yezikin's voice accusing her of her guilt suddenly stopped. Because at this moment, Ye only held him tightly with both hands from behind. Yezikin could clearly feel her pressing her face against his back, looking reassuring and dependent. Ye Weiwei assured him, "There will be no next time. Absolutely no next time." Yezikin made no move at first. Just when Ye Weiwei thought her behavior had been forgiven, Yezikin still cruelly pulled her hand away from her body. "Think about it for yourself. Chinese Valentine's Day Welfare Group, there will be welfare red envelopes and irregular activities regularly every month in the group. Kaibao with a fan value of 2000, disciple, or above, first join the book club group 1450160119 and find the manager 3.5 years old, and then invite to the welfare group." In fact, it is true that Xiao Lingdang takes revenge on people, but she doesn't want to kill them all. She just wants to make Li Mo afraid of her and hide away. But she didn't expect Li Mo to be so cruel. Even the man who sincerely cares about him will do it. End of this chapter.